Hey, it's Clay Trader, and this will be a video chart on ticker symbol CERU. We will take a look at the 30-minute time frame. Real quick, what do I mean by 30-minute in case maybe you're new to charts? Instead of each one of these candlesticks here representing 1 day's worth of price action, which is what you would normally see, each one represents 30 minutes. So this here may look like several days worth of time. It's actually just today's price action broken down into 30-minute time slices. I like through this time frame. I think that does a good job of telling the quote-unquote story of the price, and then makes mapping out where levels of support and resistance a bit easier to see. I realize there's a whole lot of white space, but if I do that, because of that gap down, that just throws off proportions. So that's why I have the chart moved over here. Just makes things a little bit easier to see and present from, the presentation perspective. So let's first start by talking about the final 30 minutes. Again, each of these represents 30 minutes. I bring that up because a nice little candle here was formed. In the world of charts, we would call that a hammer candle. And on the hammer, got decent size volume there. Now, am I saying that just because there is a hammer candle and high volume that this thing is guaranteed to bounce? I really wish the markets was that easy. No such thing as a guarantee. Now, would I be shocked to see some sort of bounce? It would not be shocking at all, but there's no such thing as a guarantee. So, I'm not sitting here and saying that it is for sure going to guarantee or for sure going to bounce. But in the event it does bounce, I want to map out a couple areas of resistance that can be used to gauge the strength or lack thereof of any sort of bounce. Obviously, if it's bouncing and the price is breaking through these levels of resistance, well, then, hey, that's a pretty strong bounce. But if it gets up to areas of resistance and kind of just peters out, well, it's kind of like a wah-wah type bounce, and there was never any sort of true strength behind it. So the first key area of resistance with any sort of bounce, if any sort of bounce, I should say, is really even going to get started, is right there at 75 cents. So 75 cents, that's the first hurdle. And just because it gets above 75 cents, that's not going to, really be a huge, sign of bullishness. But, all bounces have to start somewhere, and that quote unquote starting somewhere for this is definitely there at 75 cents. Next key level of resistance to keep an eye on is right up there at 83 cents. Now, if the price can get a good strong break above 83 cents, in my opinion at least, that's the level where it starts to set off people's scanners, it starts to bring people's eyeballs to it, and then it could start to get some organic momentum from there from traders and such that start to pile in. But, before you start talking about 83 cents, 75 cents is definitely that initial area that needs to be broken. So interesting close with the final 30 minutes and that hammer candle, decent size volume. So will this thing bounce? We'll see tomorrow. One of the most popular questions I get is, hey, Clay, how do you find the stocks that you trade? So what I've done is put together this free resource guide where I talk about the tools that I use to locate stocks that I find interesting and think may have potential. So if that sounds like something that could add value to you as a trader, then by all means, click right there to get access to the guide. The guide itself is very short and to the point. And like I say, it is free. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.